So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Welcome to the Barbecue Central Show, the show where we talk about all things that are important in the world of barbecue. From big-name interviews with competitors on the barbecue circuit, grill manufacturers and pit makers, to advice on cooking brisket and ribs. You'll find it all right here on the Barbecue Central Show. Your host, Greg Rempe, is a backyard barbecue and grilling fanatic and loves to talk about his passion, which many of us share together. You can learn more about barbecue and grilling by visiting the website, thebbqcentral.com. Now, let's get in the smoke. Here's your program host, Greg Rempe.
Hey, gang, welcome to the Barbecue Central Show. Yeah, it's the show where we talk about all things important to the world of barbecue and grilling. We originate right here from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. It is frequently known and referred to as the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard. And, of course, we're right here on the Barbecue Central Radio Networks, simulcasting on LA Talk Radio, as always. Let me give you some contact information in case you want to jump in on the show tonight. Toll free, you can make a phone call at 877-448-0433. Or if you want to email the show, you can do that as well, bbqcentralradio@gmail.com, bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. Here's what's happening on the show tonight. Coming up in about 13 minutes, going to be doing some interview with Pete Benac, and he is from American Spirit Barbecue. It's a charitable effort that helps our troops, so we'll talk to him about American Spirit Barbecue coming up 14 past the hour. 34 past, regular monthly contributor Scott Roberts going to be reviewing some barbecue sauces and rubs. 4-segment free-for-all. Great prizes, as always, giveaways to include frog mats, wood smoke products from Greenleaf Barbecue, Cosmos Q Injection Pack, and barbecue sauce from Big Butts Barbecue. Of course, the new giveaway sponsor, Pete's Firehouse, with the 2-pack of barbecue rub there. That's the 4-segment free-for-all. After dark tonight, huge guest, Tuffy Stone of Cool Smoke. He is the 2010 Memphis in May Pork Shoulder Champion. Also, Barbecue Central Radio correspondent Kelly Dodd is going to be submitting a on-site interview that she did at a first-time competition in Middletown Barbecue Cook-Off. So look for that after dark. That's 10 o'clock in our second hour. That's what's happening on the show tonight. 877-448-0433. BBQ Central Radio at gmail.com. All right, give me some room here. I'm going to take a break from format for the rest of the segment in order to address something from the show last week. As you might recall, during the second hour of the show, that's what we refer to as the After Dark portion of the program, I interviewed the most recent winner of the Memphis in May World Barbecue Championship, Melissa Cookston of Yazoo Delta Q. They won the whole hog portion of the event, and going up against 2 other very tough teams in the finals, Cool Smoke and Natural Born Grillers, came away with the well-deserved and hard-earned overall victory at Memphis in May. And I received a lot of emails about the spot and usual stuff about how great the interview was, how engaging Melissa was, and how genuine she came across, how passionate she sounds when talking about the Memphis Barbecue Network and that style of cooking, the Memphis style of cooking. For me, personally, as I stated at the end of the segment, I, as the host, appreciate when someone has the passion to talk about barbecue and is able to be succinct while doing it. So you can imagine how surprised I was to find an email from her stating that she was kind of disappointed with how things or the direction of the interview went, and that I didn't give her and the team just due, or at least in her opinion, I wasn't giving the team and her just due in the interview, and that I was kind of partial to the KCBS way of doing things. Now, I'm not going to read it word for word, obviously, or anything like that. My dad was a big believer on being the bigger, better person and taking the higher ground whenever possible, and that's certainly a value I truly believe in. It would be all too easy for me to kind of turn around, do a big blast mode on that whole deal. And why bother doing that? Certainly Melissa's not here to defend herself or take issue with what I have to say, and it's just not going to go down like that at all. However, there are a few things that I wanted to make very clear here to listening audience, and I know that there are a number of you out there that don't need to hear this, but I feel it's a point. It comes to a point right now that it's best for me to make sure that I am completely transparent when it comes to the show and the guests that I have here on the show. First and foremost, If you think as a guest that you can come on the show and be fed nothing but softball questions that hit deep, then this probably isn't going to be the show for you. There's 2 shows on regular terrestrial radio that are more than happy to do the easy interviews. But that's not me. I do the prep work for each show. I do the research, and I want my guests to have an opinion on things. Listeners want to hear someone have a take on something. Whether they agree or not is a different story, of course, but at least we know that you aren't afraid to weigh in on certain topics that are kind of hot buttons there in the barbecue industry. And what's more lame than a softball interview anyway? I'm going to ask you for your opinion, and if you don't give it to me, then certainly that's on you. But I'm going to ask the tough questions, but I'll never be controversial for the sake of doing it because I can, because, quite honestly, that's lame. Does the show focus on competition side of things at some point during almost every show? Yes, of course it does. Has the show had more KCBS interviews than any other sanctioning body? Yes. Has the show interviewed Memphis Barbecue Network, IBCA, FBA cooks, and executives as well? Yes, it has. So, look, the show happens every week to serve one major all-encompassing purpose, which is to promote barbecue and grilling in all aspects, which is why I have pit makers and grill makers on, why I have Scott Roberts come on once a month to talk about barbecue sauces and rubs, and why my mom comes on to share recipes, and why Derek Riches comes on to talk about cool new things that are being offered in the retail market once a month. In the grand scheme of things and of the show, the percentage of interviews that I've done with competitors on any sanctioning body is far less than all of the interviews that I have done that aren't competition related. Is competition barbecue interesting to me? Yes. Does it allow me something new to talk about week in and week out if I come into a content pinch? Yeah, of course it does. But look, this is a sport that continues to gain popularity among all walks of life. So yes, I'll continue to talk about it. But please let me be clear on this point. I don't compete. I have no interest in competing. I do not hold any memberships to any sanctioning bodies because I want the show to be free of any perceived honking on my part. This is a sterile environment for people to come in and give their takes on anything that has to do with barbecue and grilling. Now, I might have more KCBS people on, but that's because they're the biggest sanctioning body out there. Those numbers are indisputable. The KCBS is like the NFL in terms of size and exposure. And that's why at times it might seem like the show trends to the KCBS, but I don't honk for them. I have no vested interest in their organization at all. And the Memphis Barbecue Network is more comparable to, and I hate to say it, the NHL in terms of size and popularity. It's smaller, and aside from the really big events they hold every year, how much would you miss it if it was disbanded altogether? Of course, the cooks and the teams would hate that, just like the hockey players would hate it if the NHL sunk, but it wouldn't have nearly the impact on competition barbecue as if the KCBS went away. The worst thing I want to do is the worst thing that I could do for a barbecue society or association isn't badmouth it at all. It would be just to not talk about it at all ever. That would be the worst thing I could do. Yazoo's has done the show twice. I've had Malcolm Reed on from Killer Hogs. They're an MBM team. I've asked the MBN executives to come on the show a handful of times with no acceptance, I might add. So while I might not talk about other sanctioning bodies as much as the KCBS, I do talk about all of them. Let me tell you something. The best organization for this show isn't the KCBS, by the way. I have been denied interviews more than I care to admit because their board doesn't want to come on and talk about the show and answer the questions that their membership really is kind of looking to have answered. And that's their choice. The best organization in the eyes of this show is one of the smaller guys. But they continue to grow. They continue to add more contests and continue to promote new ways of getting teams into the mix, and that's the Florida Barbecue Association. Look back through all of the show archives, even dating back to the original Barbecue for You podcast. You a hardcore fan? You remember that Barbecue for You podcast? They have been available for every interview I have ever asked for. When Joby Staniland was president, he came on. When Kevin Bevington was president, he came on multiple times. Now Rob Bagby is president. He comes on all the time as well. I've interviewed every president in the Florida Barbecue Association history. They always come on. They always answer the questions. And that's why they will always be one of my favorite interviews to do. So let me quickly wrap up here on this issue. And remember this. I started this show because I love barbecue and grilling. And I wanted to develop a vehicle that would allow me to get the word out to people that were just like me. I'm no expert. I'm no pro, nor have I made any claim to be such. But many of you out in the audience, you could most likely kick my ass in a cooking competition. I'm not going to dispute that. Hell, you could probably kick my ass in a fist fight for that matter. But it's fun to talk to folks who have the same passion as I do, just in different facets of the industry. I'm not in anyone's pocket. I do not shill for anyone except for my sponsors, and rightfully so. And I don't think that any competition body has better cooks than the other. And the difference between them are so big that it would be really irresponsible of me to kind of paint with such a broad stroke. And for the record, I've said it before and I will say it again. The best cook out there right now in competition barbecue is Myron Mixon. Hands down. Why? Simple. He competes in the KCBS. He competes in the FBA. He competes in the MBN. Events every year. He competes in all of those sanctioning bodies every year, and he wins in those sanctioning bodies every year. And to me, this is me giving my opinion, in order to claim your overall dominance in competition barbecue, you need to go from one sanctioning body to the next and be able to walk in all of them as well. And there's nobody doing it out there like Myron is right now. So, are we good? We all on the same page now? Great. You know what? Let's go ahead and move on from there. Yazoo's Delta Q, still a friend of the show, but I needed to make sure that we all understand where we're at this point. Perhaps another important message I need to get out is to tell you about Yoder's Smoky Mountain Barbecue. That's right, the makers and distributors of Meadow Creek barbecue equipment. These barbecue smokers, pig roasters, and chicken cookers and grills are handcrafted in the Amish country of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and their goal is to give you outstanding value for the price. Help you enjoy easy and profitable barbecues for years to come. They also carry a complete line of wonderful barbecue rubs and sauces as well. Check them out on the web, won't you? SeriousBBQs.com. That's SeriousBBQs, BBQS. SeriousBBQs.com. I'm going to get out. We're going to get Pete Benac of American Spirit Barbecue coming up next. Stick around. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Radio Networks.
Barbecue fans travel from all over the country and the world to learn the secrets of real pit barbecue from Grand Champion Pitmaster Conrad Haskins. Now take your skills to the next level with a Barbecue Institute Pitmaster class. You'll learn how to make sauces, rubs, and smoke mouth-watering barbecue every time you cook. Your new skills will impress friends and family. Internet forums, blogs, and Facebook are full of success stories from our graduates. Upcoming classes locations include Rock City Rib Fest, Rochester, New York, Lexington, Massachusetts, Lang Factory Test Kitchen in Georgia, Fort Worth, Texas, Fredericksburg, Texas, Houston, Texas, Monroe, Washington, and Kennewick, Washington. For more information, class dates, and contests we'll be competing in, visit www.bbqclass.com. That's bbqclass.com.
Centralites, you having marriage troubles? Your kid's unruly and don't listen? Then you need the Ribolator, because great barbecue will always bring the family together, and the Ribolator always cooks great award-winning barbecue. You can try it free for 30 days, and if your family life doesn't improve, just send it back. Ribolator even pays return shipping. But you need to take that first step. Visit Ribolator.com to get started or call 206-999-0962. Don't you deserve a happy barbecue family?
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven using wood or charcoal. The Tallboy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose. Make ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes. And it doubles as a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
Hey, gang. Want to talk to you real quick about something that's very important when you're buying stuff online. You need to deal with a company that is reputable and knows what they're doing, and that's why I always recommend Fred Bernardo of Fred's Music and BBQ.com. We all know that Fred's Music is the barbecue and grilling superstore, from any kind of cooker you want to gas and charcoal grills and all the accoutrements in between to make your barbecue and grilling experience a success. But more important than all of that, Fred has been there and Fred will be there in the future. How many times have you heard the story about the guy that found that great cooker for a ridiculously low price, except it was back ordered for 10 months, or worse yet, he paid up front and never got the product? That's because some of these online retailers are here one day and gone the next. Fred has the inventory to meet your needs. It's competitively priced and shipped promptly. Shop where I shop. Fred's Music and BBQ.com. Headache-free guaranteed. Fred's Music and BBQ.com. Or, if you're in Shillington, Pennsylvania, stop by and see the smoking guitar player himself.
Introducing Cosmos Q. Cosmos injections and marinades use only the finest ingredients, and they mix easily, never clotting or caking. From our beef injection to our pork injection, you're guaranteed to wow your friends, family, and judges. And don't forget to check out our newest marinade, Cosmos Chicken Soak, for that moist and tender chicken you're gonna love. You can find all of Cosmos award-winning products at CosmosQ.com. Cosmos Q, the new generation. Taste the difference.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
About 15 past the hour, this portion of the show brought to you by The Ribolator, bringing you what I've termed the every ring, that stainless steel ring that goes around the 22.5-inch Weber Smoky Mountain, the 22.5-inch Weber Kettle, Ugly Drum smokers as well. You can get it by itself if you already have the whole setup for $119, but you can get a complete setup, including the ring, the spit rod, the motor, and the Ribolator, everything for 150 bones. Ridiculous. 30-day money-back guarantee, no strings attached. Ribolator.com is the place to go. Ribolator.com. All right. Let's go ahead and race back the phones. By the way, 877-448-0433. BBQ Central Radio at gmail.com. Let's go ahead and race to the hotline. You know, one of the best things about barbecue, whether it be competition, cooking classes, or what have you, a lot of the time it's being done to benefit a charity or to give back to the community in which we are living in. So that's great. Joining me now, and to show that philanthropy is alive and well in the world of barbecue, none other than the creator of the American Spirit Barbecue, Pete Benac, right here on the Barbecue Central Show. Pete, how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. Yourself?
Doing outstanding, Pete. First of all, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule here to join me on the show to talk about American Spirit. And Pete, you know, the word hero thrown around a lot these days, but I think we can both agree that the true measure of the word hero is best defined by men and women in our armed forces. They're in harm's way every day by choice, protecting our way of life, and of life. And a lot of the time, it's taken for granted by the majority of people here in this country, but it's not lost on you, and you've taken your appreciation to a whole different level. Tell us about American Spirit Barbecue and what drove you to this great cause.
Well, American Spirit Barbecue caters to 5 clients, and that's the five armed services, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, and Air Force. And we do their homecomings and farewell parties and their family day events free of charge. It's our way, a small way of saying thank you for the sacrifice they're willing to make. What drove me to this was a friend of mine out in California who has a similar organization. Kept asking for help when I lived out there. I lived in Northern California. He lived in Southern California, and everything he wanted to do was in Southern California. Driving halfway across the continent to help somebody while it was something I wanted to do, it just wasn't feasible. When I moved back to North Carolina, he asked me to help him at an event at Camp Lejeune, and I jumped all over it since Camp Lejeune is only like 2 hours from the house. The following year, he asked me again. This time I brought my cookers. And then finally last year, he asked me to help out because somebody had mentioned to Fort Bragg, the second largest Army post in the country, that barbecue for our troops existed. And he just got swamped. So to help him out, I started American Spirit Barbecue, and I've been doing it ever since. Pete
Benac joining us here, American Spirit Barbecue. The website, by the way, AmericanSpiritBBQ.com. He's also Twitter, so if you like the tweets, at ASBBQ is his Twitter handle. Now, Pete, how does an event actually take place? Is a particular unit getting in touch with you, or is it a civilian looking to organize something for the local install?
Well, civilian in the way of the Family Readiness Group for the Army. The Marines have a very similar organization, and it's basically the Family Readiness Group is the spouses of the military personnel that put on Family Day events. They do fundraisers, morale things for the families, because the families are just as important as the soldiers themselves. Because without the family support, they couldn't do their job. They usually get in touch with me either through word of mouth or the Yellow Ribbon Committee passed around this year that the two organizations existed, and I'll get calls from the FRG. I've got one who was word of mouth from one of the events I did last year. Their neighbors, so they asked. She basically found out about us through their neighbor. She called us up and asked if we would do it. Of course, we said yes. We try not to turn them down, but somewhere along the lines, like when they schedule two on the same day, I have to tell them either schedule this on a different day, or we're going to have to find some other way. So far, it's worked out, but normally they call us.
Pete, are you relegated just to North Carolina, or you do events all over?
No, we're doing an event in New Hampshire. We're doing one in Georgia. We got one coming up in 2 weeks, and got 2 or 3 of them in Virginia. So, no. Anywhere the military is, if they want an event, I will find a way to make it done. I know my partner out in California will do the same thing.
Pete Benac from American Spirit Barbecue is our guest. Pete, obviously you need funds to do this, so how is American Spirit Barbecue funded?
Through donations from people like you. Usually we have on both the web page and our Facebook page, there are donation buttons there for people to donate through secure methods, through PayPal. Or they can email us, they can snail mail us a check if they wanted to, or donate any of the material that we need. Obviously, we're feeding them. We need plates and forks and napkins and condiments, and we'll accept those too.
So how do you go about promoting a new event or a new event that you've booked, and perhaps more importantly, how would one go about getting people to volunteer their services to make sure that the gig kind of comes off without issue?
Well, I'm sure you've seen me begging on Twitter. I do the same begging on Facebook. I go around to the National Barbecue News website. I've been on the Barbecue Brethren's website, the Big Green Egg website. Basically, I just go around begging. I've stood up on the pulpit of my church and begged and asked people to help, and I don't care. It's a cause that I love, and if people give me a chance, I'll sit here and beg.
Pete Benac joining us, American Spirit Barbecue. Again, the website, AmericanSpiritBarbecue.com, his Twitter handle, @ASBBQ. Pete, is it okay for me to ask, are you a military person in the past, or is this just something you have a passion for that you want to give back to the troops?
Of course you can ask. I used to say that I was I'm ex-Army, but being around the Marines, that make a lot of sense, so I'm former Army. I was in the Army in 1975 to 1983, 7 years, 8 months if you're counting. Part of me wishes I had stayed in the full 20, but yes, I'm a veteran.
All right, so if someone is listening live right now or perhaps later in the podcast forum and they want to contribute either monetarily or physically at an event, how do they go about donating or volunteering?
Well, they can donate by pushing the buttons on either the Facebook page, which is American Spirit BBQ, or the website, which you have said, www.americanspiritbbq.com. If they want to volunteer to help, both the website and the Facebook page have my contact information, or they can Twitter me direct. Either way, I don't do, and we'll work out the way for them to come help.
Do you get a decent turnout from people that are actually looking out there to give you some manual labor to do these events?
Well, I like to say yes, but a lot of these events occur during the week. And the way the economy is, people are afraid of losing their jobs. I wish it wasn't that case, but so we're looking for people that are willing and able to come out and help.
Wow, so it's almost like a one-man show for you most of the time.
It has been the last 4 or 5 cooks, and it takes a lot out of me. But hey, it's a labor of love. I was a paramedic for 22 years, and I will say that as rewarding as that was, it doesn't touch this. Doesn't even come close.
Yeah, it's got to be rewarding to see the faces and the gratitude of the troops, and just your little way of giving back for what they're doing day in and day out.
They're beyond gracious when, especially when they find out that it's the American public that has donated all the food. They're just flabbergasted that happened.
Pete Benac joining us here, American Spirit BBQ creator. I know you are set up with like 6 or 7 big green eggs, and you're able to pull off some pretty sizable events there, as you mentioned, kind of by yourself here over the last 4 or 5 cooks. So if you had to pick between having physical help or getting cash donations to fund the project, would you lean towards the money first, or is that not necessarily a correct presumption?
Well, I'd like to say that I would lean toward the physical help, but we have to pay for the event, so I kind of will go for that. As you mentioned, my big green eggs, I can probably feed 400 or 500 people, and most of these events are within the 400 or 500 range. I've got a couple this year. I got one coming up in the middle of June that's going to be like 1,500 people. So I'm not going to be able to do that, obviously, with my eggs, even though I have 10 of them. Only 6 of them are really, really capable of pushing out the big food. And I've got one in October that's going to be close to 3,800 people. But even though the money is needed to buy the food.
All right, and I'm sure there's going to be some potential skeptics out there as far as the donations going in. I mean, is there a certain percentage that is set off for your personal benefit, or is all this being reinvested back into the effort?
I would say about 98% of it goes feeding the troops. Obviously, there's some overhead that needs to be done, but in every case, and most of that ends up being bank fees. But other than that, about between 98 and 99% of it goes to feeding the troops. I don't take a salary for this. I volunteer myself. All the cookers volunteer. So basically, we get the cost down to about $1.75 per person that we feed, simply because everybody that helps out is a volunteer.
Pete Benac joining us, American Spirit Barbecue. So, Pete, where is the next American Spirit Barbecue event taking place?
In Newport News, Virginia, on the 5th and 6th of January. We're going to be feeding the 4th.
Do you mean June
4th Marine
or July?
June, yes, not January, June. You're right, June. The one after that, we're feeding will be the 15th and 16th. No, 16th and 17th of July, and that's going to be at Fort Bragg. That one's going to be rather interesting because it's the 3rd of the 27th. They're actually doing a live fire qualification that day, and they're a field artillery unit. So what more American can you get as rocket red glare and barbecue?
That's right. It sounds like a perfect match to me. Talking with... Go ahead, Pete.
I'm actually thinking about trying to work in some apple pie in there so we can make it total American.
That's right. So that's going to be June 5th and 6th, and then turning around in fairly short order after that, July 16th and 17th. So if you're interested, go ahead.
And then right after that, the 18th and 19th, we're doing the 82nd Division Support Troop Brigade, and it's like I'm not even leaving Fort Bragg. I'm going to be staying there. That's the big one. That's about 1,500 people.
Wow. So, look, if you're in or if you're going to be in the area or have a big cooker, you want to help Pete out with manpower, or more importantly, with funds, again, direct you to the website, AmericanSpiritBBQ.com. That's AmericanSpiritBBQ.com, and I'll have the link here on the post-show notes. You can follow him on Twitter as well, ASBBQ. Pete, appreciate you coming on tonight and telling us about American Spirit BBQ, and hopefully this will help get the word out.
I appreciate you having me on the show and letting me get the word out.
All right, take care, Pete.
Take care.
There he is. Pete Benac. American Spirit BBQ, former or a veteran, certainly of, I think he said like 7.5 years. So, first of all, Pete, appreciate your service. Again, that website is AmericanSpiritBBQ.com. Look, A lot of people out there, great cause, you're doing great. And I see a lot of the Twitter posts going back and forth. But, look, don't just say it. Step up and do it. If you guys are interested in putting together like a radio show pool of cash that we can forward over to him, I can certainly set something up via PayPal, and I would be more than happy to do that. Or you can just do it on your own. But, thinking that it's a great idea and wishing that you could do more. I mean, what's easier than sending Pete 15, 20, 30, 50, $100 for your troops that are protecting you and your way of life from the bad people out there, from the evil doers, as President Bush used to say back in the day. Pete Benac, AmericanSpiritBBQ.com is the website. And again, if you're a Twitter person, ASBBQ, that's at ASBBQ. Pete Benac, everybody. All right, we are going to step away real quick, and when we come back, regular monthly contributor Scott Roberts going to be breaking down some barbecue sauces and a barbecue rub for us. You want to call in and weigh in? Certainly welcome to do so. 877-448-0433. BBQ Central Radio at gmail.com is the website. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show right here on the Barbecue Central Radio Networks.
Barbecue fans travel from all over the country and the world to learn the secrets of real pit barbecue from Grand Champion Pitmaster Conrad Haskins. Now take your skills to the next level with a Barbecue Institute Pitmaster class. You'll learn how to make sauces, rubs, and smoke mouth-watering barbecue every time you cook. Your new skills will impress friends and family. Internet forums, blogs, and Facebook are full of success stories from our graduates. Upcoming classes locations include Rock City Rib Fest, Rochester, New York, Lexington, Massachusetts, Lang Factory Test Kitchen in Georgia, Fort Worth, Texas, Fredericksburg, Texas, Houston, Texas, Monroe, Washington, and Kennewick, Washington. For more information, class dates, and contests we'll be competing in, visit www.bbqclass.com. That's bbqclass.com.
Forget going from site to site to get all your barbecue and grilling supplies and make your first and final stop at fredsmusicandbarbecue.com. In the market for a new barbecue pit, we have all the big name brands like Big Green Egg and more. As a matter of fact, Fred's is staffed by eggheads and carries all the parts and accessories for the Big Green Egg. More of a pellet head, you say? Fred's is the pellet grill superstore with grills in stock from Traeger, Green Mountain, and Country Smokers from Louisiana Grills. Fred also carries smokers from Cook Shack, Bradley, and Weber as well as a full lineup of charcoal grills. And once you're outfitted with your new smoker or grill, you'll find absolutely everything you need to make your barbecue or grilling experience a success. Fred is also the creator and distributor of Tasty Licks barbecue products, including their great line of rubs, spices, and sauces. You gotta try them. You can also get your hands on a full lineup of marinades, accessories, lump charcoal, wood chips, pellets, chunks, and even the great grilling tools from Stephen Reichland of Barbecue U fame. Check Fred out on the web at fredsmusicandbbq.com or check out their fully stocked showroom in beautiful Shillington, PA.
Centralites, you having marriage troubles? Your kid's unruly and don't listen? Then you need the Ribolator, because great barbecue will always bring the family together, and the Ribolator always cooks great award-winning barbecue. You can try it free for 30 days, and if your family life doesn't improve, just send it back. Ribolator even pays return shipping. But you need to take that first step. Visit Ribolator.com to get started or call 206-999-0962. Don't you deserve a happy barbecue family?
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven using wood or charcoal. The Tallboy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose. Make ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes. And it doubles as a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
Introducing Cosmos Q. Cosmos injections and marinades use only the finest ingredients, and they mix easily, never clotting or caking. From our beef injection to our pork injection, you're guaranteed to wow your friends, family, and judges. And don't forget to check out our newest marinade, Cosmos Chicken Soak, for that moist and tender chicken you're gonna love. You can find all of Cosmos award-winning products at CosmosQ.com. Cosmos Q, the new generation. Taste the difference.
Barbecue fans travel from all over the country and the world to learn the secrets of real pit barbecue from Grand Champion Pitmaster Conrad Haskins. Now take your skills to the next level with a Barbecue Institute Pitmaster class. You'll learn how to make sauces, rubs, and smoke mouth-watering barbecue every time you cook. Your new skills will impress friends and family. Internet forums, blogs, and Facebook are full of success stories from our graduates. Upcoming classes locations include Rock City Rib Fest, Rochester, New York, Lexington, Massachusetts, Lang Factory Test Kitchen in Georgia, Fort Worth, Texas, Fredericksburg, Texas, Houston, Texas, Monroe, Washington, and Kennewick, Washington. For more information, class dates, and contests we'll be competing in, visit www.bbqclass.com. That's bbqclass.com.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
35 past the hour. Welcome back. This is the Barbecue Central Show, and this portion of the show brought to you by the good folks over at the Barbecue Guru, makers of automatic pit temperature control devices, not to mention a host of other products that make your barbecue and grilling life easier. Two ways to find them on the internet, thebbqguru.com, thebbqguru.com, or if you want to dial them up by phone, you can do that as well. Toll free, I might add. 800-288-GURU, 800-288-GURU. It's the good folks at the Barbecue Guru. All right, let's go ahead and race back to the phone lines. Joining me now, regular monthly contributor to the show, breaking down all sorts of things when it comes down to barbecue sauce, and barbecue rub. Hot sauce expert, Scott Roberts from scottrobertsweb.com. Scott, how you doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Thanks
Good
for coming.
evening to you.
Hey, nice to have you back on. We do it once a month. We break down these barbecue sauces and rubs because, let's face it, Scott, there's roughly 758 billion barbecue rubs and barbecue sauces, and who has time to go out there and waste money trying to figure out what might be good? So let's have an expert on that can kind of give us that experienced palate of tasting across the veritable cornucopia of flavors and whatnot that we have going out there, and you're our guy to do it again. So before we get into this, Scott, what's happening over at your website, scottrobertsweb.com?
Just continuing up with the product reviews, I recently tried a spoonful of Blair's Ultra Death sauce.
Yeah, I was going to mention that because I just saw that video that you put on Twitter. That's very manly of you.
I just did it for the endorphin rush, basically.
Do you like the pain that much? Is that what it's all about?
Yeah, if you can stay in the pain, it's probably only 5 or so minutes of it.
Yeah, so for the people that don't understand what we're talking about, Scott videotaped himself taking a really decent amount of, like a tablespoonful amount of Blair's like creeping death hot sauce. He just ate it right there, and then kind of we watched the eyes well up and the heat kind of affect your speech and kind of grind up on the back of your throat there. It was pretty intense there for a little bit.
It was. And I wanted to basically see if I could go through it without a glass of milk, without hiccuping, any of the other symptoms that other people get when they take that amount. And by no means is this, something original. I mean, you can find all kinds of videos of people doing the exact same thing on YouTube.
Yeah, but, when it's you and it's a friend of the show, it adds that whole new element of romance and intimacy.
Romance?
Sure,
Okay,
romance in not a bad way. I mean, like in a friend of the show way.
Like a bromance.
Bromance, that's right. That's what I'm talking about. All right,
okay,
so,
I can live with that.
Scott, we have a couple different sauces and one rub to choose from or to kind of review as we do every month. The first, and we'll go ahead and start with the barbecue rub right off the top. Heartbreaking Dawn's Memphis Belle barbecue blend rub, and kind of a unique name with the Heartbreaking Dawns.
Yes, it is. Heartbreaking Dawns, they're a fairly new hot sauce company. Several months ago, they had released 3 different hot sauces. I thought they were pretty good, pretty unique in their own way. But like a lot of companies, they come out with new products, experimenting with things. And I think with they have 3 new rubs, they're really hitting their stride. And in particular, it's this Memphis Belle barbecue blend. I think it's one of the best rubs I've had all year as far as one being perfectly balanced. I think it's tangy, it's oniony, has just the right amount of sweetness. It has mustard seed, I believe, is in there, brown sugar, and it all blends together fairly well.
Now, it has Memphis in the name, so would this be more amalgamable to the pork products, or is this good overall scopes of barbecue?
Well, it excels on pork, but I think it's good just about anything, including beef.
So what's the size and what's the price point?
The size, I believe, is a 3-ounce one. Price is $4.95. Right now, I believe the only place you can buy this is at heartbreakingdawns.com. But I think it's well worth it, even with the shipping cost.
All right, so heartbreakingdawns.com, again, is the website to buy it, not in any retail stores, just shy of $5 for the rub. And, of course, we have the new scoring system. So 1 out of 5, what are we giving this with our special titles?
With our special titles, I think it's somewhere between a top 10 call and a grand champion.
Wow.
Numerically, that would be 4.5, so I'm just going to call it reserve grand champion.
All right, so certainly one that you would want to venture out and pick up, as you had said, for the Heartbreaking Dawns Memphis Belle barbecue blend rub. Okay, now we'll go transfer over to our sauces. Crazy Uncle Jester's Brushfire barbecue sauce. Now, I've never been one that's very, keen on the pickup, but it sounds like it might have a little heat to it.
It certainly does. With everything I review on here, I try not to go to the extreme hot end of things. I'm going to make an exception this time. This is an extremely hot product, but I think it's very good. If a lot of the listeners are into that type of thing, they ought to check this out. Now, this is one of the most unique barbecue sauces I've seen. It pretty much defies description if you actually look at it. It kind of has a thin pickle relish consistency. It's heavy on onions. It has sweetness from ketchup. But probably 10 seconds after you take a bite into it, you feel the rush of heat from jalapenos, habaneros, and I believe serrano peppers as well.
Wow, so fully loaded.
Yes.
All right, now, when you were on a couple months ago, we were talking about the Chef Jaime Grande's Cascabel. What I thought was really kind of dropping gasoline on your tongue and lighting on fire. Is it within the same type of hot realm, or is the Uncle Jester's a little bit less or a little bit more, or in the same category?
I would probably say a touch more.
Oh,
but it's a much better sauce than that other one was.
All right, so flavor's good on that.
This is worth it, yeah.
Okay, and where can you get it, and what's the price point?
Okay, you can get it at crazyunclejester.com. It comes in an 18-ounce bottle for $6. There are some retail locations. Crazy Uncle Jester's is based around, I believe it's the Dayton, Ohio area. So there's lots of locations in Ohio, maybe a few around Ohio, like Indiana. Maybe Illinois, you could pick it up at. There's a store locator on their website. Just take a look at that.
All right, and how do we go ahead?
I would say this is worth it if you want to go ahead and purchase it online.
All right, and what's the rating for this?
I would give it a top 10 call. Very good
top
product.
10 call. Very good. Okay, so definitely worth picking up. Again, $6. Don't be shy on the price there. The better sauces are obviously going to cost more than the crap that's out there by like Kraft and some of those other major brand ones. So $6 certainly well within reason for that. Top 10 call from Scott Roberts. Last sauce. Am I saying it right? Is it Maul's barbecue sauce, genuine flavor?
That's correct. The genuine is basically what they call it on the website. In stores, it's just kind of a plain label. It's the regular barbecue sauce. But this is a very popular St. Louis sauce. Anyone from the St. Louis area that's listening right now is familiar with it. They probably grew up with the TV commercials and can hear the jingle in their head right now. This company has been around for over 100 years.
Wow.
I believe it was sometime in the 1920s they developed a barbecue sauce recipe, and they're using the exact same recipe to this day. I think it's the perfect St. Louis style sauce, very heavy tomato based, little tangy, a little bit of twang from vinegar. It's kind of thin. It's not as thick or rich as like a Kansas City style sauce. But I think it goes very well with a couple pours of beer out of a can.
Oh.
Mix it up a little bit. You have to add beer to it. And you just slather it on some pork steaks after you grill them. Just caramelize them on the grill, maybe a minute on each side, and you're set.
Any type of, let's call it liquid smoke flavor?
There is not, thankfully.
All right, cool. And price points and where you can buy it.
Okay. Like I said, it's around the St. Louis area. Just any grocery store around here. Everyone's familiar with it. You can also go to mall.com. That's MAULL.com. This is a very inexpensive sauce, I guess, in contrast to the other products I mentioned earlier. You can pick up a 3-pack. They come in 24-ounce bottles for $6.75.
Wow, 3-pack for $6.75. So very inexpensive, especially when compared to the other sauces. But this one definitely hits the mark. So what's the Scott Roberts rating on Mall's barbecue sauce?
This one would be a top 10 call.
Wow. So as we look back through all three of these products tonight, Mall's gets a top 10 call. Crazy Uncle Jester's Brushfire Barbecue gets a top 10 call. And then the best one of the night, Heartbreaking Dawn's Memphis Belle Barbecue Rub, gets the Reserve Grand at almost the perfect score of 5 out of 5. And again, all the links will be included in the show notes. And most importantly, we appreciate Scott Roberts from Scott Roberts Web coming on to break down the sauces and rubs. Scott, as always, appreciate you coming on tonight. We'll be looking for you again next month.
Thank you very much.
There he is. Scott Roberts, master reviewer extraordinaire, baby. ScottRobertsWeb.com. Have you been thinking about putting together a website? Scott Roberts is your man, by the way. Not only does he have a masterful palate, he's a master on that interwebs, too. He can put together you a website like you wouldn't believe. Not too bad on the price, either. So not only should you think of Scott Roberts as a master taster and a guy that's able to give his opinion, but don't forget, maybe you're looking to get out in the interwebs and be a guy you want to think about. Hey, that alarm means it's time for the LA Talk Radio cutoff. So you're listening right here, right now on LA Talk Radio. Make the switch right now. Go to thebbqcentralshow.com. Thebbqcentralshow.com. You'll get the rest of this hour, and then you'll get our After Dark segment. We'll be talking with Tuffy Stone from Cool Smoke. It's time to play the 4-segment free-for-all, ladies and gentlemen, where it's fun and fabulous prize giveaways. Yeah! Call in now during the break so you can get lined up for your chance to win. 3 easy questions for your chance to win huge prize values. 877-448-0433. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show.
Barbecue fans travel from all over the country and the world to learn the secrets of real pit barbecue from Grand Champion Pitmaster Conrad Haskins. Now take your skills to the next level with a Barbecue Institute Pitmaster class. You'll learn how to make sauces, rubs, and smoke mouth-watering barbecue every time you cook. Your new skills will impress friends and family. Internet forums, blogs, and Facebook are full of success stories from our graduates. Upcoming classes locations include Rock City Rib Fest, Rochester, New York, Lexington, Massachusetts, Lang Factory Test Kitchen in Georgia, Fort Worth, Texas, Fredericksburg, Texas, Houston, Texas, Monroe, Washington, and Kennewick, Washington. For more information, class dates, and contests we'll be competing in, visit www.bbqclass.com. That's bbqclass.com.
Centralites, you having marriage troubles? Your kid's unruly and don't listen? Then you need the Ribolator, because great barbecue will always bring the family together, and the Ribolator always cooks great award-winning barbecue. You can try it free for 30 days, and if your family life doesn't improve, just send it back. Ribolator even pays return shipping. But you need to take that first step. Visit Ribolator.com to get started or call 206-999-0962. Don't you deserve a happy barbecue family?
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven. using wood or charcoal. The Tall Boy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose. Make ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes. And it doubles as a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at TheBarbecueGuru.com. That's www.TheBBQGuru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
Hey, gang. Want to talk to you real quick about something that's very important when you're buying stuff online. You need to deal with a company that is reputable and knows what they're doing, and that's why I always recommend Fred Bernardo of Fred's Music and BBQ.com. We all know that Fred's Music is the barbecue and grilling superstore, from any kind of cooker you want to gas and charcoal grills and all the accoutrements in between to make your barbecue and grilling experience a success. But more important than all of that, Fred has been there and Fred will be there in the future. How many times have you heard the story about the guy that found that great cooker for a ridiculously low price, except it was back ordered for 10 months, or worse yet, he paid up front and never got the product? That's because some of these online retailers are here one day and gone the next. Fred has the inventory to meet your needs. It's competitively priced and shipped promptly. Shop where I shop. Fred's Music and BBQ.com. Headache-free guaranteed. Fred's Music and BBQ.com. Or, if you're in Shillington, Pennsylvania, stop by and see the smoking guitar player himself.
Introducing Cosmos Q. Cosmos injections and marinades use only the finest ingredients, and they mix easily, never clotting or caking. From our beef injection to our pork injection, you're guaranteed to wow your friends, family, and judges. And don't forget to check out our newest marinade, Cosmos Chicken Soak, for that moist and tender chicken you're gonna love. You can find all of Cosmos award-winning products at CosmosQ.com. Cosmos Q, the new generation. Taste the difference. Sometimes it's all about the free stuff. Call now to win something succulent.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
About 9 minutes till the top of the hour. This portion of the show brought to you by D-Dog's Barbecue Rubs and Sauces. You know you love them, but would you like to buy them locally? Yeah, of course you would. Then you need to send Darren the name, address, and phone number of your local barbecue store, farmer's market, or grocery store, and he'll take care of the rest. Email that info to Darren, D-A-R-I-N, Darren at DDogsBBQ.com. Hey, not afraid of shipping charges? Visit the website, DDogsBBQ.com. All right, you want to do it. Everybody wants to do it. Let's play the fourth segment, Free for All. Hi, everybody. Harry Carey here. Hey. What the hell's going on? I'm already having technical difficulty. That's not good for a man my age with limited technical experience. Okay, here's how we play in the game, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to ask you if you want barbecue or non-barbecue questions. And then you're going to answer these questions. You have 5 seconds to answer a question. If you don't get it, you're gone. If you win, you get your chance to win a bunch of cool prizes. Hey, you want to play? I do too. Okay, let's go to the phones. This is Harry Carey. Who's this?
This is Phil White, Huntsville, Alabama.
Hey! Phil, how are you? Phil, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Well, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing good.
All right, you want to play?
Yeah, let's play. Let's do barbecue.
Okay, barbecue questions. Here we go, Phil. Are you ready?
Here we go.
Name the sanctioning body in Florida for competition barbecue.
Florida Barbecue Association.
Oh, sorry, wrong button. That's right, Phil. I'm sorry about that. All right, Phil, name another barbecue sanctioning body. Anyone, pick one.
Kansas City Barbecue Association.
All right, Phil, you're on a roll. Last question for a win for a big prize. Phil, are you excited?
Am I what?
Are you excited?
Yeah.
I know I am. Okay, Phil. Name the biggest barbecue event which takes place
in Lynchburg, Tennessee every year?
The Jack Daniels.
Hey, Phil White, you just won a prize, my man. I can't believe it. You got to be so excited. You're probably jumping up and down.
I am, man. I'm tickled to death.
All right, Phil, stop jumping up and down real quick. Get ready to pick a prize. What would you like? We have the Firehouse Pete's Rub. We have wood smoke products from Greenleaf Barbecue, frog mats, Cosmo's Q. We have T-shirts from Do-Rag Barbecue. It's a veritable cornucopia. What would you like?
What did you say from Tuffy?
I didn't say anything for... Phil, do you have corn cobs between your ears?
Let me get that Firehouse rub.
Okay, Firehouse Rub to Phil White. Phil, email the shipping info to bbqcentralradio@gmail.com.
I'll do that, man. I appreciate it.
All right, Phil, beat it. Phil White, our first winner on the show. We go to area code 281. This is Harry Carey. Who's this?
What's up, Harry? How's it going, man? You drinking your butt tonight?
I'm sorry?
You drinking your butt tonight, Harry?
I'm drinking my butt tonight. You goddamn right, sir. Who's this?
This is Darren in the Woodlands, Texas.
Hey, there, how are you?
I'm doing good, man.
All right, you want to play the game?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, do you want barbecue or not barbecue questions?
Not barbecue.
Oh, okay, not barbecue questions. Very, very avant-garde of you, Darren. Here we go. Are you ready? Name the President of the United States of America.
Barack Obama.
That's right. Very good. Okay, a little bit harder of a question, Darren. Here we go. Name the Vice President of the United States of America.
Joe Biden.
That's right. Some people miss that. I don't know why. Okay, last question for you to win a prize. Are you excited?
I'm about beside myself.
I know I am too. Okay, here we go. If both the Vice President and the President were unable to fulfill their responsibilities, what government position would be next in line to act as the President?
Speaker of the House.
I can't believe you just got that. You're a man of seismic brain proportion. I've never seen anything like it. Okay, here we go. You need to pick a prize now because it was wonderful. We have Cosmo's Q, we have frog mats and wood products and a T-shirt. Which one would you like?
Send me the Cosmo's Q.
Cosmo's Q. All right. bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. That's where you want to send your shipping info. We'll get you taken care of.
Sounds good.
Thanks for calling in tonight.
Take care.
Beat it. We're on a tear tonight. People are winning left and right. Area code 530. David, where you're calling from? Hello?
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 Who's this?
This is Jim and Tori.
Did you say Jim?
Yeah, and Tori.
Hi, Jim and Tori. This is Harry Carey.
Harry.
How are you?
Pretty good, and you?
Tori, are you taken? Never mind. Do you want to play the game?
Yes, please.
Barbecue or not barbecue questions?
Let's go barbecue.
Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Name your favorite barbecue roundtable show.
What's that again?
Name your favorite barbecue roundtable show.
My favorite barbecue roundtable?
Get that big stuff out of here.
Look, you have to listen if you're going to listen to the barbecue roundtable show. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Jim and Tori. Do we have a bad phone connection? Better phone connection if you want to play the 4-segment free-for-all. Just a word to the wise. Going for the bar. Call back in. We got a minute left for the super fun 4-segment free-for-all. It's fun and fantabulous. I love it. Here we go. Let's try again. Can you hear me this time? It's Harry.
Hello?
Hello.
Hey, we lost you.
I'm sorry about that. Okay. What's your favorite barbecue roundtable show?
I think I'm not understanding. Round table shift?
Get that big stuff out of here.
I know what I understand. You're listening to the show in the background, and that's going to rule you every time. You can't win when you listen to the show in the background. It's never made good for anybody. Hey, I got to go. Good night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to put a wrap on this show. Jim and Tori, word to the wise. Don't listen to the show in the background if you're going to call into the show live. Never works out. Thanks to Pete Benac from American Spirit BBQ. AmericanSpiritBBQ.com is his website. Also, Scott Roberts from Scott Roberts Web. So look for him coming up as well. We're going to take a quick commercial break, come back for the second hour with Tuffy Stone. Stick around, we'll be right back.